place?
Thanks. Been renting 5 years.
Did you go after things that are truly, deeply meaningful and inspiring to you, so you will walk your talk and achieve things and build momentum?
What is up, Dream Team? So, this is day 700 and something of doing 2,000 push-ups.
I guess you could say the pursuit of self-mastery.
No, but this is another day of doing 100 push-ups.
68.
Let's go.
Weeks. And so I've been doing it a bit, 50 years. And there are certain principles, certain actions that I feel very confidently in saying will help you do something extraordinary with your life, help you master your life. I don't know about you, but I'm assuming you would love to master your life. I certainly wanted to do mine. I want to empower all of the 7 areas of my life. My spiritual quest, my mind development, my career, my wealth, my family dynamics, social leadership, physical fitness, everything. So whatever your goals are, whatever your intentions are, based on what you value, one thing, and for the last 45 years that I learned is you want to start with something that you're certain about when you're shooting for goals and objectives to achieve something in life. You don't want to just go after you. Sometimes we go and we compare ourselves to other people. We meet somebody and we go, wow, they're amazing. They've done something amazing. And they go, oh, I would like to do that. And we get kind of distracted and scattered. I just had a client yesterday who said that they went off on another wild goose chase, and they constantly go off on these wild goose chases, and we traced it down to the moment they see something, read something, or meet somebody that they look up to, and then they tend to infiltrate some of the values of those people, and they tend to sidetrack, trying to be somebody they're not, and they keep defaulting back to who they are. And a lot of times you think that there's something wrong with you. You think that there's a weakness, or there's a sabotage, or a limiting belief, or whatever. But really what those are just distractions from what's really important to you, and you had to go learn to not put people on pedestals. And that's the lesson, instead of putting them on a pedestal and minimizing yourselves, why don't you go find out what you see in them, find out where you have that same ability and trait already demonstrated in your values, and stay focused. But the first principle that I want you to write down is that it's really wise to determine what you really value, what's really your life is demonstrating you're committed to. Now, if I look at my life over the last 50 years, it's not hard to see that I've been consistently, spontaneously doing something. And that is learning everything I get my hands on and sharing it with everybody I get my outreach to. And that's something that I've been doing since I was 18 years old. So if I look at what my life demonstrates as what's really important to me, it shows up. And I've been, for the last 45 years, helping people determine what they value. And I slowly but surely developed a methodology to assist people in doing that. And I've mentioned it in some of my presentations, and it's the DiMartini Value Determination process. It's free, it's complimentary, it's private on my website, drdimartini.com. Please take the time to just go and take 30 minutes of your time and fill it out. It'll be eye-opening. You can print it out, you can store it, it's private. You can look at it again, do it again in a week, a month, every quarter, just to see what your values are demonstrating is really priority to you. Because anytime you're setting goals and objectives that are congruent and aligned with what you value most, you increase the probability of achievement. And you walk your talk, you wake up your leadership, you grow your self-worth, you expand your horizons, you tend to do what you say. You're not living your life. And so finding out what you really value and what your life is demonstrating as important, that's the first thing. So the first step is determining what you really value and not let the outer influences distract you from what that is. All along my journey in my 20s, I started speaking sometimes at conferences. I was 23, 24 28 when I first did my larger conference. And there are thousands of people there. And I noticed there were other speakers there, and I was sometimes enamored with them and putting them up on pedestals and kind of comparing myself to them. And I remember having this lunch with one of the speakers, and I said, I feel a little bit like an imposter here because some of you guys have done something more than I've done, And, I haven't achieved that, but I'm working towards that. And he looked at me and he said, it's interesting that you're saying that. I was actually intimidated talking to you. And I said, really? And I said, yeah. I said, because you are so articulate and you know how to share and teach. And I wish I had that skill. And you may think, oh, I wish I had that skill to go and do the clinical, management of a practice. But is that really what you want to do? And he goes, no, it's I want to share and teach. He says, well, stick to what it is. And the guy gave me the feedback. And I said, I realized that I was sitting there envying somebody else, trying to imitate somebody else, and injecting his values and trying to be somebody I wasn't, and distracting myself from my confidence of where I was. That's why I tell people the magnificence of who you are is far greater than all those injected values and fantasies you might inject. So instead of getting distracted by enamoring with my colleagues, I just kept focused, and I built momentum. And then I found out that they looked up to me and for my skill, I looked up to them for their skill, and we all honored each other's skills. And it was such a big relief. So first, determine what you value. Go online and do the value determination process. Do it again. You'll probably distort it at first. You'll probably write down what you think it should be, ought to be, supposed to be, got to be, have to be, what you wish it would be, what it used to be, instead of write down what your life demonstrates. If you're watching from a drone up above, looking down in your life and watching what you actually do, and how you spend your time, and what you fill your space with, and how you're what you're inspired by, and what you're really disciplined to do every day, what you spontaneously do every day, it will give you a revelation of what it really is important to you. And a lot of times we're afraid to admit it. I'm as certain that a great majority of people are afraid to admit what's true. They want to live in a fantasy, and they're not going to do anything except beat themselves up doing it. You're designed to beat yourself up when you're trying to be somebody you're not, because it's trying to get you. Your own physiology is trying to get you back to being who you are. So number one is determine what your values are. Go online and take advantage of that. That's why in the breakthrough experience, every time I do the breakthrough experience, I make sure that's done. Because I don't want them wasting time on goals that aren't congruent with that. Don't waste your time on low priority things. Only go after things that are truly, deeply meaningful and inspiring to you, so you'll walk your talk and achieve things and build momentum. That's number one. Number two, ask yourself, how can I get handsomely or beautifully paid to do that? Whatever that top value is. Mine's teaching. So I asked myself many years ago, this is very young, how can I get handsomely and beautifully paid to teach? Because if I don't find a way of doing what I love and getting paid for it, I'm going to have a Monday morning blues, a Wednesday hump days, a thank God it's Fridays, and a week friggin' end. And I'm going to be working and doing something I don't love to make money, so I can then blow it and spend it on dissociating from that unfulfillment by immediate gratifying consumables and depreciables, and never get around to do what I really love to do except as a hobby. Now, if that's really what you want to do and only as a hobby, then fine. But every day that you go to work that you're not inspired by your cytokines and your immune system, your autonomic nervous system, you're going to let you know it with signs and symptoms. And you're going to be less than inspired. You're going to have friction and not fuel. You're not going to be getting up in the morning and I can't wait to tap dance to work, as Warren Buffett says. Warren Buffett's, even though he hasn't been eating the healthiest foods or anything else, but he's in his 90s. Him and his partner basically been doing a long, Charlie Munger, they've been doing this for a long time. And that's because they love what they do. And that's important to get to do what you're really inspired to do. So ask, how can I get handsomely and beautifully paid to do it? I ask that. How do I get handsomely and beautifully paid to teach? How do I get handsomely and beautifully paid to write? How do I get handsomely and beautifully paid to travel the world? I found a way. I'm doing those things today, and I'm getting paid to do those things. But that meant that I had service to do. You're not going to get paid to do it unless you're serving somebody. You got two ways of serving somebody. You may want to write these. You'll laugh probably. You either directly go out and serve customers, clients, attendees with some sort of a value by doing it, or you serve a partner in a marriage who will then go out and make the income so you can do what you love and they're taking care of it. If you want to raise beautiful children, then your number one customer may be your spouse. If you're not working in a normal format and you're basically a stay-home mom or whatever, then you love that and that's your mission, then ask, how do I get paid to do that? Well, you take one client called a husband or spouse or a wife who's working, and you go and dedicate your life to fulfilling the service of that individual enough for them, they want to go and pay for all what you want to do. That's still a customer. It's still a business. It's a family business. Not the mafia. It's a family business. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're being of service, because you're not going to generate income unless you're serving somebody's needs. And if you're not generating an income doing what you love, you got a Monday morning blues, Wednesday hump days, thank God it's Friday, sweet friggin' environment. And then you're going to have to escape that you have the doldrums for, to go and escape and make it a vacation kind of thing, and escape and blow all your money on doing those things instead of making your money doing what you love and building momentum and valuing yourself. So I ask, whatever I do in business, anytime I'm doing any aspect of my business, I ask, how can I get handsomely paid to do the next step? How can I get handsomely paid to do that? I don't ask, how can I afford to do it, or I get in debt. I ask, how do I get paid to do it so I get afford to go move forward? And then I save and invest, and I make my money work for me. So I'm doing what I want to do, not because I really have to, but because I love to do it. And there's a freedom in that. So number 2 is, go and ask yourself, how can you get handsomely, beautifully paid to do it? Where you're working and doing what you really love to do. The third one is the highest priority action steps daily. What are the highest priority action steps you can do today that will help you fulfill that dream? And you want to ask yourself, what are the highest priority actions I can do today that can help me fulfill that dream? Help me go and do exactly what I love doing. And if you do that, every single day you'll get the highest priorities of the highest priorities of the highest priorities, and you'll end up manifesting momentum building achievements towards that objective. So ask yourself that. What is the highest priority action I can do today that can help me fulfill what is most important and what I would love to do?
That's it.
What I want to get